Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the day one training of DevOps. From today onwards, we are starting a new batch. If you have any question, then you can contact us after the session. Now I request Atul sir to start the class.
Thank you very much. I'm sharing the screen. Am I audible? Just confirm. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hi, sir.
Just a second. Yes. So in last session, we have gone through some basic concepts, and also we have practiced for web server. We have seen the installation of Git, but this is the first session as 2 demos are completed. Now we will talk about why there is need of DevOps and what's exactly a DevOps through some points. So DevOps is a set of practice that's between the operations team and the IT team. So when any particular developer is there, that developer is building a code, and that code need to be deployed in various infrastructure. So for these purposes, we need to have an operation team. Now, operation team will take care of all these deployment process. Also, they can communicate with the development team. So that's a scenario in IT. So what's the role of DevOps? That's between all those two teams. They will share the code. They will build the code, deploy the code, and also they will integrate with a lot more other teams for the infrastructure level and organization of workloads. So the main objective of DevOps to do the collaboration and communication between development and operations team to improve efficiency and productivity. So a lot more time to be taken for this software development lifecycle, or we call it as SDLC. And within SDLC, we are building the code, testing it, and then moving towards the production level. So this is the simplest model about SDLC, where we can build the code, then we can test it. We are going through the release process. We are planning throughout the process, and then we are going through the monitoring all these resources. And these resources are on an IT level. So IT means for infrastructure level, I'm talking about, where a lot more workloads will be there, either remotely or physically. Now customers are there which can communicate with the workload that has been hosted. And most of the times we are having websites and applications. So for software development lifecycle, we are building the code, we are maintaining it in particular repository or file system. Then when we are having applications that to be run on servers, and servers to be hosted in data centers. Also, for monitoring purposes, a lot more tools are there. Like you must have heard about the Grafana. So these type of tools are important when you want to carry out and check for the logs and a lot more things. So this is the DevOps life cycle, and where you will plan for the code, you will then you will go with the various processes and you will package it when you want to release the code. Also, some configuration settings are there, tools are being used, and monitoring is being done with the help of a lot more integrations. So first process that's regarding creating, planning, then packaging it, then we are handling it with the help of tools, and then we are releasing the code. Now within the planning, organizations work hard and they want to be do this process in a fixed timeline. Now, while creating, designing, and development of code, various projects are being handled by the teams. Team leaders are there, project managers are there, and they are handling the team members for various workloads. Also, we are doing the verification process whether codes are being properly working or not in terms of testing purposes, and sometimes we also do unit testing or black box testing or white box testing. So that may be part of the software development lifecycle. And after all these processes, we are packaging the code, and that various artifacts are being also managed. These are the dependencies. So dependencies are managed, and after the packaging, we are releasing the code. So that will be in terms of the software bundle. So whatever software that you are currently using, like WhatsApp or any Microsoft softwares that you are using for the application level, these are all gone through the software development lifecycle, where developers are working towards it, testers are tested the code, and then that has been deployed in an infrastructure level. Now, there are the key principles. First of all, collaboration, where we will work with different teams. And it will happen to you when you will work as a DevOps engineer. When automation is there, here we are saving the time as well as the cost. So whatever the repetitive tasks are there that are being minimized, and throughout the code itself, we can go with the deployment process. Now the new term is there, that is continuous integration. So suppose there are team of developers and they are working toward the goals. So they need to communicate with each other. Also, they need to provide some suggestions to each other. Then they have to make some changes towards the code. And that can happen with the help of continuous integration. Now, next term is continuous deployment. And both the terms are part of CI/CD, that is continuous integration, continuous deployment. So with the help of continuous integrations, the code is being built. And with the help of continuous delivery, we can go through the deployment process on a production level. The next term is infrastructure as a code. When we are having a lot more workloads to be deployed, suppose I'm having a virtual machine. So that's a single entity for the single user. But suppose a lot more users are there, and I need to have 100 virtual machines at the same time, or I need 100 database servers at the same time. So rather than putting efforts a lot more times, we can go through the infrastructure as a code. So from the code itself, with a single click, we can deploy 100 virtual machines within the seconds. And this type of workloads are there in industry, where you will go with deployment procedure, and you will save a lot more money of the clients and the customers through infrastructure provisioning. And most important tool over here, that is Terraform. And Terraform, which can be used with various cloud service providers like AWS, Azure, GCP. Then within the monitoring process, we can go through the planning, development, integration, testing, and various operations. So what are the benefits of using DevOps? First of all, you can have a very great speed. Means whatever teams are working on, they will go through towards the productivity. Collaboration, various teams can be communicate with each other, and there will be clarity between the teams, and they will work towards it. The rapid development means we will save the time, and we can have the faster. We can improve the quality by using CI/CD towards the product development process, and we can also provide some security for using the DevOps tools. Now, what are the challenges? So there may be challenges like dependencies or a lot more configuration toward the tools that we will use in a DevOps process. And this also requires to have a lot more people to work together. It's not like one person can handle everything. So companies are having a separate DevOps team that will handle the workloads on an individual level. So this was the basic regarding DevOps. Now we will talk about other things. So when we talk about DevOps, here we are having key points regarding organization. So as company to company, culture is very different. Different tools and partnerships are there along with the tools, and we can have that type of culture to be set and workflow to be managed and the problems to be solved with the help of various technologies. So that are the requirement of DevOps. Now, what DevOps providing as a solution? So here we are having automation. Here we are having culture to be set. Performance is important in case of productivity. Flow is to be maintained within the teams, and we are organizing our workloads within the teams. Then we are having DevOps goals where we can go with the software release. We can begin the IT responsibilities and business need. We can reduce the efforts of software development, transitions, and operations. We can improve time to market. We can release codes within within a smaller time, and we can build the productivity. The quality of code can be improved. Also, we can improve quality of software deployments. Suppose I have been built a particular software, then testing to be done with the minimum time. That's the case. We can reduce the cost as per the iteration level or delays, and we can improve the productivity. Also, we can improve visibility. Now, I will let you know about tools that are required to learn about the DevOps and the programming language, operating system knowledge that is required. In terms of coding, we need to handle some software which are used for editing the files, and that can be VS Code or Nano in terms of Linux or Vim. These are the editors which are important. After that, the most important tool that is Git. Now, Git is a version control system. Now, version controls means we are releasing the codes and products or softwares by using the version control systems. GitHub is a social media like platform where storages are being provided for your code. So when we are talking about SDLC, software development lifecycle, first of all, we are building the code. We are editing the code with the help of this type of tools. Then we are saving our code in a system that will be Git or GitHub. The next important tool, that is Docker. Now, when we are building application that will be on top of operating system, and here are the supporting libraries are there. By using libraries, our application can be run. So multiple applications can be part of same operating system. So suppose I'm having 3 to 4 applications which are running on the same OS. So they can use the same compute power. Means I'm talking about the RAM. So what is the solution for this? Any application may crash if same dependencies are there. So the solution was to use virtual machines. So we can build a separate VM with the separate app. That was the solution. So let's try it diagrammatically. So here I have put separate applications on a separate VM so that any particular application will not be crashed in terms of usability. Now here virtual machine size is high at the level. And after that, we come to the solution of using containers when any particular application and libraries are being put in a container so that there will be isolation. And with the help of isolation, we are building the codes and we are releasing the products so that that particular product can be run on multiple operating systems. Like we can run that software on a Linux. We can also run particular software on a Windows. Also, we can run it on a virtual machine. So there will not be separate coding for everything when we are doing our deployment process on a Docker. So the Docker is very important tool. And after that, we are having Kubernetes, which is container orchestration system. Then in terms of infrastructure as a code, we are having Terraform tool. Now this Terraform tool can be used with multiple cloud service providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, Alibaba Cloud, Tencent Cloud, IBM Cloud. So when you will work in an industry, rather than buying a physical infrastructure, companies are going towards virtually renting it. And that service name is cloud. So we are having public cloud platforms. Also, we are having private cloud platforms. So some companies are also using combination of the both, that is to provide the greater administration and called as hybrid cloud, which is combination of public and private. So as an infrastructure as a code, we will create resources. We will deploy the resources with a single click, and we can save a lot more money or a lot more time for a deployment, or we can have a stack to be ready. Now, what is stack? This is called as a development stack. When any particular developer is creating a code, maintaining it, then releasing it, that whole process is a stack, and the stacks are being maintained. Now, to deploy the stack, we can use the type of software that is Terraform along with the clouds. So that type of tool we will learn throughout the course. And then we are having Chef, Puppet, and Jenkins. So Jenkins, which is used for CI/CD pipeline. Chef and Puppet are the used for configuration purposes, configuration management. Also, when you will work you will start with practicing with the DevOps. First of all, you want to deploy some softwares. So first tool, now we will try to install it and to run it. That will be Git system. So what I will do, I don't have Linux machine right now. I'm on a Windows operating system. So rather than uh, rather than having a different computer, what I will do, I will use cloud service provider console. And from the cloud service provider console itself, I will create a Linux machine. I will connect it to remotely. So let's try to create a Linux machine first. Then we will connect it remotely. And over there, we will install a Git software. Now, as I have told you, Git software, which is used for saving the code, both remote case and both on a local machine. So I'm going with the AWS console itself. Here, the service name that to be launched a virtual machine called as EC2. Now, full form of EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. So why are you using this service? I will launch Linux machine. That will hardly take to 1 to 2 minutes for a deployment process. So throughout the course, we will learn about EC2 as well. So for demo purpose, I'm showing you deployment of Linux machine. So here I am in a EC2 console. I will click on launch instance. Then from here, I will select for operating system first. So I'm selecting Amazon Linux, which is also type of Linux from the AWS itself. I'm naming this as server. Then I'm selecting a default setting for the first time practice to be understood by you. Then here I am entering a key pair. This will be used for remote connections. Network setting I'm keeping optional, and then I'm allowing the traffic on a HTTP, HTTPS level. Then I have clicked on launch instance tab. Now my machine will be ready within the seconds, and I can remotely connect it from my AWS environment. So for connecting any virtual machine from the AWS environment, you can use terminal. Now I will let you know what is terminal. So for any machine to communicate with operating system, we are having terminals. And within terminal, we can enter commands. So the first command that we will try, that will be SSH, which is used for secure shell. And with every machine, every operating system, you will have a user account. Also, when you are using AWS services, one DNS record or public IP will be attached to it. So what I will do, I will try for secure shell connection from my physical machine to virtual machine, which is in AWS environment. And here I will use SSH protocol. So my command will be SSH-I, then username of machine at DNS record of the machine. So no need to remember for this command. It will be directly available within AWS console. So here I'm just refreshing for virtual machine. It is in running state. I'm clicking on it. I'm clicking on connecting. I will copy this command, and within downloads folder where my key pair is there, I can paste that command. And in this way, I can connect to my virtual machine of Linux type. So rather than buying a physical computer, I have launched a virtual machine of Linux type. Now we will try to install Git software over here. And for installation purpose, I can try for sudo yum install. Name of software is Git. Then I'm adding -y at last. Now I will check for version. So for checking version of particular software, you can enter the software title. Then you can try for version command. And here you can see that in this way, you can install a Git software on Linux machine by using command sudo yum install and the name of software is Git. And then you can add -y. Now I will show you how to install Git on Windows system. So for this purpose, I'm searching for Git from Google. Here I'm clicking on download for Windows. Then I will select for 64-bit Git Windows setup. The setup has been downloaded and I will open it. So here I'm going with clicking on next. Here I'm selecting for all options, clicking on next, clicking on next. Here main branch will be there, that will be default branch. You can click on next, next. And at last you can click on install option. In this way you can install Git software, which is used for version control, means for saving your code on a storage level. Also, you can maintain it for different productivity operations. So the first code that we will try on a Git software, that will be a Python. So in my system right now, suppose I want to install a Python on Linux operating system. I can go with the sudo yum install and name of software is Python. I can say yes for installation, and in this way you can check for Python version. After the installation, you can go with Python space -- version command. So on my Linux machine, I have installed Git, I have installed Python. Now for the initial level, when you are creating any directory, you are saving some code, you can try for git init command. So what I will do, I will create one directory by using mpdir command. I'm naming this directory as new. I'm entering the same. Now I'm going with ls command. So the folder has been created. I can change this directory path. In my case, if I'm checking with pwd command, that is present working directory, you can see that I'm in a home folder. Within that, I'm having ec2-user, and then I can navigate to this directory by using cd command. Then what I will do, I will create one file. I will create one Python file. I will add this code. Now, as I have told you, to creating file, to maintaining it, we need to go with some Linux commands. So I can use touch command, which is used for creating a file. The file that I will create, that will be test.py. The name of file is test, and the py, this one is the extension. Like we are having .txt for text files. Likewise, you can relate to it if you're new to this type of program. Now, let's go through touch command. The name of file is test, and I'm adding extension, entering it. Now I'm going with ls command. So one file has been created. Suppose I want to use the git initialization. I can try for git init command. And in this way, I can have a git initialization. Now I will maintain the file within this repository that I have created. And for this, I can try for editing the file. So for editing any file, we can have nano type of software, or you can also use Vim. If you're on a Windows operating system, you can try for VS Code. You must have heard about the VS Code. So here I can try for nano space name of file. In my case will be test.py. So let's try. So here I will try for nano space test.py. And I will edit this file. So here I can add some statement. I can go with print statement. Within that, I'm just adding very basic code that you can try to print a hello world. And I can complete the back. So if I want to run any program, Python program, what I can try to call Python package, then name of file. In my case, I can enter test.py, entering it. And when your code is perfect, you can get the output. So here is the output, that is hello world that we are getting. Now within my Git system, when I want to store my code in a repositories, what I can try for Git commands. Now every software you will use in a DevOps process, there are a lot more commands and you have to practice it. You have to remember it. So the first command that we will try on a Git level, that will be git status command. It will show you the current status of code. And you can see that it is showing that git test.py file has been created. So now what I can do, I can add this file to the repo with the help of git add space test.py command. And now I will go with git status command again. So what you can see, so here the updation is there and file has been added, but not committed yet. So for committing any code, before that, user details are important. And that details can be added with the help of configuration of Git. That can be done with git config -- global user dot name, and in double inverted you can add username. So in my case, I'm adding my username. Also I have to add a email ID, so I can try for git config. Same command is there, and it can be easily memorized. That git configuration means git config -- global, that is on a global level. Then we can have username and user email ID. So is user.email, and within double inverted, you can add your email ID. I will add mine. So let's try. So here I will go with git configuration. So I can try for git config -- global user dot name. Then in double inverted, I can add my username, double inverted complete. Then I will set for email ID. So I can try for git config -- global user dot email, and within that I can add email ID. So in this way I can set username and password. So there are some messages in the chat box. I will go one by one. Okay, fine. These are the official messages. So with the help of Git configurations, you can set user details. Now, if I'm going with Git status, I'm having file to be tracked, and I will commit the changes that I have made. So for committing the changes, you can try for git commit command. Then you can use -n as the parameter, and within double inverted, you can add any message. So suppose I am working as a developer and I want my other developers within the team to know what changes I have done. I can add the message. So I can go through git commit -m, and in double inverted, I can add modified file as the commit. So this type of change is done by me. And if you want to check for logs, you can go with git log. And here you can see that these are the user details and these are the logs. So in this way, on a local machine, you can install Git, you can create your code, and you can maintain it. So that's a Git on a Linux system. Same commands can be run on a Windows system as well. You can go through the same commands and you can use it within PowerShell. Now I'm just showing you a GitHub, the platform which is used for creating repositories and maintaining the code. So if you're navigating for github.com, here are the different repositories and lot more famous tools, softwares, and their codes are being present. So you can see that this is a PowerShell code, which is on a production level, and other users are contributing towards. So these are the developers, administrators, and they are using to maintain this repository. They are also working hard towards it. And various softwares are being released with the help of GitHub platform. So if you are searching for VLC media player, lot more softwares that you are using like Notepad, that these are the codes are also maintained with the help of Git. So if you are navigating for Microsoft account on a GitHub, there is VS Code is also present, that is as a software, then terminal. These are the codes which are maintained by various developers, administrators, and other DevOps engineers as well. Also, you can check for various softwares which are being released by Google. So these are the various softwares which has been maintained on GitHub. So if anybody wants to contribute towards it, they can directly access these codes. They can create a user accounts like this, and they can maintain, they can copy their code. So in 2024, not everybody is starting coding from the zero. One needs to copy others' code. That's the important thing. And the GitHub teaches you, or Git teaches you to copy others' code and use it, modify it, and then you can keep it in your account. So right now what I will do, I will show you how to copy others' code. So suppose I want to provide some suggestions or I want to contribute towards the code, what I can try, I can just search for any particular code. Suppose I want to try for Python development. So I can search for Python over here. So these are the repositories which are present in GitHub. Now, if I'm checking with this repository, you can check for description for the same. So this repository is consisting of algorithms from the Python, and listings of files and folders are there. Suppose I want to copy this code, I can simply go with clicking on fork, and this repository can be copied or can be created. I'm just entering a different name. I'm just entering Python copy, and I'm clicking on create fork. So if I'm clicking on it, that particular code has been maintained by other user is now copied into my account. And I can also clone this to my local machine. So in my local machine, right now I'm opening a PowerShell for any file management. So suppose I want to copy this in my D drive within project folder. I'm just creating a folder here. So I'm entering name as copy code. And within that code, I want the code that has been developed by other user. So what I will try, I will just simply open a file management. I will open terminal, but the Git should be installed over here. Then I will copy this link. I will open PowerShell or terminal within that folder. And I will try for git clone command. So when you are going with git clone and URL of any particular repository, that code will be directly downloaded to your machine. So let's try. Here I'm going with git clone, and I'm pasting URL for the same. And when I'm going with ls command, you can see that one folder has been named as a directory. So you can simply change directory with the help of cd command. And if you're going with ls, all the files that has been presented remotely are now part of your file system. And if you want to change this code, if you want to try this in your environment, you can try it, and then you can push that particular code. So right now for this session, the basic practice you will try at home to clone any repository. Also try to install Git in your operating system. Either if you are having a Linux operating system, you can go through the terminal, you can try for Git installation over there. If you are having Windows operating system, simply go with git-acm.com, click on 64-bit or 32-bit setup as per your operating system details, and then install Git over there. Then try to create a simple repository. Try to create a try to create a Python file. Then try to add it. Then check for this step. So this is the basic practice you have to do. Right now, whatever I have tried, I'm just simply going with the history command, and I will paste it in a chat so that you can screenshot it. So I have tried for total, I think 15 to 20 commands. I'm entering it in a chat box, and you can note it down. So these are very basic part of Git installation, maintaining the repositories. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask. I also know this is first session, so I'm not going that much of hard to providing you Git commands details. Yes, any doubt you can ask. I'm just waiting for your questions. Hello. Hello. Any doubts? Okay. Also, one more task you have to do at home. You have to sign up for AWS account so that I can conduct for AWS services and you can practice at home. Right now, the basic service that we can try, that is EC2. So I will just let you know the theory about EC2, why we are using it. So the service name that you will practice in AWS console after the signing up and having AWS account, that will be EC2. The full form of EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. Now, why using EC2? You can launch virtual machines that we call it as VMs. Now, as we are using various computers and operating systems are needed, also storage levels are needed. So if you are buying any computer, you are selecting for RAM. Also, you are selecting for SSD size. So what companies are doing right now, rather than buying a physical computers, they will rent virtual machines by using EC2 service. That's beneficial for them. Also, one organization account will be there that we call it as root account. And from the root account itself, we can create IAM accounts. And these IAM accounts are for employees. So when you will work in industry, you will have IAM accounts that has been provided to you as a DevOps engineer or as a cloud engineer. And over there, you will have a lot more services. So total number of services within AWS are about 200 plus services. And there are a lot more workloads are there, a lot more types of workloads are there. Like you will have big data workloads, data science workloads, AI, ML, whatever it may be. Some gaming workloads are also there. So that will be hosted, your code or your application or your website will be hosted on in a virtual machines. And as a renting service, now we can try it our own to launch virtual machines. So within EC2 service, you can also select operating system as per your wish. So there is no need of having a network engineer. There is no need to have any OS software specialist. Whatever you can do, you can just simply go through the selecting a configuration and you can click on launch button directly. And through the browser itself, you can use it. Through the browser itself, you can go through the administrating it. And you can connect to virtual machines via two ways. So there are two ways. You can either connect it via terminal, or you can use a remote desktop connection that we call it as RDP connection. Or some of you when must have already working in IT and they are already going with the RDP, remotely connecting to the Windows servers or machines. So here, what you can try to launch Windows type of machines or Linux type of machines. So that we will practice in an upcoming session. But before this, you have to sign up for AWS account. That's why I'm just letting you know. So the .com that we have to try today for signing up. That will be aws.amazon.com. So for signing up for AWS, you need to have one debit card, also one email ID and mobile number. You have to verify it. So this one is task for you. You can screenshot this chat. You have to go with AWS account sign up process. And in the next session, we will try for EC2 service practice. Okay. Until then, you can practice for Git installation on your local machine, or you can also, if you are familiar with AWS already or any cloud platform already, you can launch Linux machine and you can go through installation of Git over there. Okay. So any doubt regarding the task? So for every session, I will provide you assignment at home. You have to try. Any doubt regarding AWS sign up process? No questions? Okay. If you have any doubt regarding cloud, you can ask why we are using cloud for DevOps. That may be questions from your side. We will use cloud service provider, any public cloud service provider for deployment process, because the workload availability should be there. Infrastructure availability should be there, and that can be done with the help of using AWS. Course details will be provided by administration or management team. Okay. So that's done from my side. Thank you very much.
Informative session, and thank you all of you for joining the session. Have a nice day.
Have a great day.